I had that too, but I switched to hard drive.
This is how I always pictured sales in my head.
I didn't know it could be so organized.
Leave spreadsheets behind. Discover Pipedrive's Sales CRM.
With world-class
Bloody ads!
and local insight.
You are going to, it's going to change your, yeah, the garden tomb. Don't worry.
Jump up.
That's your last stop. We're going to go to the garden tomb. You're going to go into the tomb. It's empty where Jesus' body lay, and we're going to take communion at the garden tomb. There'll be praise and worship. We'll be doing different services in the evenings, and you're going to meet some wonderful, amazing people. And you're going to meet some wonderful, amazing. Going to be there.
Hi, Di. Good to see you.
A trip of a lifetime. Don't let anything stop you from going on this trip. Okay, so. I'm just so pumped right now. I can't get over it. Are you serious? I just can't get over it. So tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, let Heidi get a little rest. Let Tara get a little bit of rest. If I have to tomorrow, I'll open 2 phone lines because I'm understanding today the phone just rang off completely off the hook where people say, I want to go. So we want to get your name, your address, and your email address. And I will have the link for you to register very soon. As soon as we get that link, all of you who have called and said, I want to go, we will be sending it to you in your email. We'll be calling you. You can call back. We'll help you. We'll work you through it. And you'll be able to put your down payment down. Okay, that's your deposit. $300 deposit locks you down on your seat. And there's only 100 people going to go. Maybe we get to squeeze a few extra, but I don't know. They're just telling me, about 100, Paul. That's going to be at 100. If you get a few more, it'll be the grace of God. So, folks, please don't wait around. If you're going to go,
They'll probably charge you to be the tour guide.
I got people who are going with me a third time. There might be a couple people who's going to be going back for. You say, why did you go back? I've already been there. Because I don't care how many times you go. This is going to be my 12th trip to Israel, to the Holy Land. I don't care how many times you go. The experience just gets better and better and better. And plus, you can't see it all. That's why we're going to see some different sites on this one than the last time, because you can't see it all on one trip. It's just unbelievable. We're going to walk the Villa Dolorosa where Jesus carried the cross to Calvary. Are you serious? We're going to go to Jericho where the walls went falling down. You're going to see sycamore tree. Maybe that's the one that the big sycamore. It's on the corner in the street of Jericho. It's the only sycamore tree in the entire city, a little town of Jericho. And I often wonder, is that the tree? Did Zacchaeus climb that tree? I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you serious? So Bishop Larry Ragland is going to be.
He's red-hearted, didn't he, Di?
And me and Heidi, we're teaming up. We're going to co-host this thing. We're going to go together, and it's going to be a trip of a lifetime. I want to make sure you get to go. Now, Mike from the World's going to join us any minute. Is he going? Someone just asked, is Mike going? I don't know. You want me to ask him? Let's check on it. Joining us somewhere, folks. Joining us somewhere from around the world. It's Mike from around the world.
Pastor Paul, God bless you, brother.
God bless you. God bless you, Mike. How you doing?
Well, I dropped the phone down between the wall.
What?
I got it.
How do you drop a phone between the wall?
That's what happens when you build it yourself.
All right, you got it. Well, I don't know if you heard that. We're getting ready to take a bunch of folks to Israel. We're hoping to take 100 people to Israel with us next year. And someone just asked the question, is Mike from around the world going to go? I said,
hey, I could be there.
You could, Mike. I know.
I could meet you guys before you ever get there.
You could be standing there waiting for us when we get there.
That's right. I could be on the hunt.
Come on, Mike, let's do this. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Wow. Well, I know you've been there before, and
lots
of times.
Lots. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. We'll leave that open. We won't have to get a total commitment out of Mike on that, but it would be awesome. Mike, great to have you tonight. Wow. I don't know where to start except there's a lot going on. But look, can I ask about this UPS plane crash?
Yeah.
I mean, I got some information sent to me from one of the government insiders. I don't know if you're allowed to talk
Is that the plane that just dropped out of the sky? I think it is.
about it, but this thing doesn't feel good. I mean, it just don't feel right. Is there anything you can help us with? What might have happened?
Well, the tractor trailers have not stopped. Crashing into police cars.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean by that?
Well, they haven't. There are more tractor trailers and large vehicles ramming into police vehicles.
Yes, and you said
It never stopped.
you said that there are sleeper cells in this country, and that you may see similar things start happening. And we had the helicopter of the guy's family who's running for governor in Illinois, and all of a sudden his family crashes and unfortunately a horrible accident. But
Engine falls off a UPS plane.
how's that happen?
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it does stink. We've been not doing with that, but it does stink. It does.
That's fair. I know I couldn't push too far on that. Okay, so we're going to keep our eyes open. Obviously, guys, we're in a battle. We're in a warfare. It's never stopped, and we can't get the government open, so that's another problem. But there's a danger. All right, Mike, let's talk about that. Let's go to Venezuela for a minute because this is getting serious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting rough. We're going to see what happens with that whole situation. I'm sure that everybody knows there are B-52s on patrol. They were doing practice runs all day. And it's getting pretty serious.
I heard that there's training U.S. troops in Puerto Rico, getting used to the jungle kind of thing. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, new troops. We had, for example, there are operatives already in that area, right? But looks like they're going to surpass the operatives, some of the special forces from Colombia, to operate in theater in Venezuela, because it could be ground activity, permanent ground activity. See, if we go to war with Venezuela to stop drugs, right, we'll also have to monitor all those places in that area. It's not an area you can hit and forget. Can't do that. You'll have to rebuild government, but that raises a very bad problem. We have a war in Washington, right?
Yeah.
And there's too much attention being paid to foreign entities, and domestically we're falling apart.
Yeah. So this war, I mean, we see it in the political world between the Democrats and Republicans, but we also see the three-letter agencies. A lot of concern. I should say that. A lot of concern among them.
Do you remember last year when I used that term governmental war?
Yes,
remember that?
Yes, I do.
Now you're seeing it, and you're about to see the Republican Party split into three pieces. And the Democratic Party will split into two pieces, two very distinct pieces. Because now we have an issue like this shutdown is going to reveal quite a bit. It's going to reveal. In fact, here's the truth. They could open the government tonight.
Yeah.
But here's the Democrats could open the government tonight, but so could the Republicans.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And neither one of them want to do it.
No, because if you look at the cause, what they're doing, they're trapped, right? And I have to say this. I don't stick up for politicians at all, but I have to say this. President Trump is operating. His advisors, like I said last week, need to be fired, right?
Yeah.
Because they feed him data. They feed him the information. If he believes that information, of course he's going to say we're okay, right?
Yeah.
And we're not okay. So somebody's feeding him bad data.
Now, I agree with that. And he's
Bad data.
I mean, here's a man
He's starting to catch on.
he's getting advisors coming from every direction, and it's difficult for one man to hear all this stuff from good, bad, and ugly and try to make a decision the right one. You're not sure what the information you're getting is true or not.
That's right. So you have to trust those who, because you're like in a telephone booth. Every president is within a telephone booth, right?
Right.
And
Come on.
people are the experts. And they give him information and feedback on everything, right? The president themselves, they don't really have direct information on any of these subjects. So they have to trust the people who work around them. But there's another word I use, betrayal.
Mm-hmm. You've been saying that for even before Trump was elected. You were saying that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's going to come out. It's going to come out because if people look hard, what they see is domestic policy within America's fault is killing this country.
Yeah.
But we're building up everybody else outside of us.
Mm-hmm.
So who has instigated that? There's another tactic, is what that is.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Mike, you've been calling things right for some time. You've been calling the shots for a while here, and we've been watching it manifest. We thank God that you have the capability to get some of the inside intel, and then also the prophetic. I've said this. Someone has said to me, "You tell me this is the best interview you ever had with Mike." I said, "I've interviewed Mike over 600 times, and the webinar, I think, was the best one ever." Of you just was so good, and you've always been able to help us look beyond the headlines and to look through the word, but at the same time look beyond the headlines to see a more clearer picture. Things are coming into focus now. Is that true?
Yeah, they are. They are. They really are. And fast.
Mike,
And fast.
and fast. Mike, can we also just for a second and talk about Comet? Or is it a comet? I don't know. Atlas 3i. What is it, Mike?
Good question.
Well, one of its companions showed up. I do believe that should be published tonight.
Whoa.
Something that was traveling with it showed up.
Now, BP Earthwatch had a picture, and it looked like there was multiple things. But what do you mean something showed up? What do you mean?
Well, something with that type speed, composition, it's the chances of it traveling by itself are slim to none, right? It had to encounter some type of resistance, or it came from a larger chunk or something like that. I realized it does not follow the standard comet model, right? But this thing has, for example, there should be pictures published of something that was seen between it and the sun, but it was in close proximity to Atlas. So I suspect that we'll have more visuals here shortly, very soon, of that thing. But, I have to say this, the composition of this thing is dangerous, right? In my opinion, anything that's encompassed with too much carbon like that has very dangerous composition on the inside. And that's from historical gatherings, but something similar to that object could just simply tear up our atmosphere full of gases we don't want. There's a lot of arsenic out there, right?
Yeah.
Lots of arsenic. So when things pass like that, they can easily drop arsenic into our atmosphere.
So is this companion thing, rock or whatever it is it closer to us than Atlas, or is it?
Well, it's still close to it.
Okay.
But the problem is it's a ways from Atlas. It's not, that close to it, which means it probably had a similar trajectory
Okay.
as Atlas, right?
So
Because I don't see the gravitational pull of Atlas keeping that object where it was. It's too far out.
I see. So it's almost like there was a massive explosion, maybe, where
Or maybe it hit something. It just,
Okay.
plowed right through it and
Okay.
carried some stuff with it. So
let me
there are
go ahead.
a few scenarios that could have happened with that.
Now,
And of course, the other option,
the other
Yeah, something could be, strange with that thing.
Okay.
The occupation issue, the artificial.
Okay, Mike wouldn't have said that unless that's already happening. So they are spotting silhouettes through the windows at Axis 80. What is it? Axis Atlas 33.
Thing could be something. It could be something.
So is Avi Loeb, is he finally getting somebody's
question.
attention that this thing is not normal? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he really got their attention a while back, but and he's right that it should be studied.
Yeah.
If they don't study this thing and gather the data, right, they're not going to know its composition or anything similar to it. It's not going to be the only one coming towards us. It simply isn't.
That's what I want to get to. I remember 5-6 years ago, maybe 7. You said, Paul, there's a cloud of debris. There's
Mhm.
coming. And I thought about this the other day. I thought, I wonder if this Atlas thing is just one of the rocks ahead of the rest of them. Is there more like that coming soon?
Yeah, we will have more like that coming soon. I'll tell you, we're about to entertain a meteor storm, right?
Okay.
Not a shower, a storm. And a storm will hit the land masses. It'll hit the ocean, right? It'll start to ignite things. It'll start small, atmospheric finish.
Wow, is that the fallen angels getting thrown out of heaven? That's what they say is going to happen. And he's saying a shower of meteorites, not a storm, a shower. Or the other way around.
A buildup, as we discussed a long time ago. But that buildup will increase. It's not going to stop. It will continue to increase. When we start thinking about the vastness of space, over the course of 3-4 years, there could be a buildup that just totally obliterates things on this planet. I mean, on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
And what have we been seeing over the last 6 years? Over 6 years, have we not seen more and more impacts?
Yes, we have.
Aerial explosions, right? All sorts of things have been happening. So the frequency of impacts has been picking up. And the size of these objects
They're getting
are
bigger.
becoming larger and larger.
And that actually confirms Bible prophecy in the book of Revelation. It talks about there's at least 2 big, deep impacts of the hits significantly, the wormwood effect for sure. But I'm imagining that there's others. We're going to just keep getting pelted by.
Yep. You know what? The first trumpet, Pastor Paul, the first trumpet, right? And when you start looking at the first trumpet, if something makes all the green grass burn up,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And 1/3 of the trees,
yep,
they're burnt up, we're in trouble. If all the green grass burns up, most of the infrastructure is gone. It's gone. So there's not going to be a lot of survivors from the first trumpet.
No.
Right? Let alone wormwood. The folks that are left, the waters are going to be disastrous, right?
Oh.
And then the oceans die.
Yes.
That's a world that we only see it.
The tide's turning, isn't it, Diane? I think Trump's killed the woke agenda. Everyone's standing up for the straighties now. I think that fad's past, the LGBTQ thing. I think that's past.
Hollywood.
And look what happened when they got power. They bludgeoned us with it, didn't they?
Something like that, right? I believe it will be worse. But the first trumpet is going to be quite disastrous. And the prayers of the saints are hurled down to the earth in that first trumpet.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
So there's going to be intercessors praying in heaven. There are going to be people. They're going to be woe unto. The Bible says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth.
Yeah.
When you read that, a lot of folks just blow past it. No idea that normal. Well, there's going to be no such thing as normal. This is going to be a apocalyptic scenario of pure survival for those who are still on the earth. It's going to be catastrophic.
And that's the hour of.
At Terry White Care Mart, we know losing weight can be hard. Our weight care program has helped many people lose an average of 8% body weight in 3 months. Talk to us today. Terry White Care Mart, dedicated to care.
Stuff it, Barry. We're going to Rakovic.
Breakfast can be all Carmen's granola.
Great.
That's that hour that nobody wants to ever go through, but
Diane, with our schools, they started doing that here, and they're state run, but our federal government had to come in and ban them teaching the left stuff. But the state did try it.
29. And I
Right.
and you said don't
Right.
even worry about that one because
Right.
we got bigger problems before we even get to that. And
Yeah.
I think I wondered if Atlas was just kind of the precursor to others on the way. I mean, this thing's not going to hit us, but I've heard you say there's so much coming that we can't dodge it all.
no, we can't. It's 2.5 million miles wide, and so we're not going to miss that. And also, Pascal, these things that passes everything we see is intentioned, right? The Lord told us we would see fearful sights
Yes.
and signs in the heavens, and so that means these things are purposed, right? But every time something like that comes by, it's a foreshadowing of something
I
else.
agree.
And I've noticed also in combination with these things that we see in the heavens, because we're just now seeing them, we have the equipment to do it and talk about it worldwide. So it's not just one little group talking about this stuff, it's the whole world.
Right.
Humanity gets worse and worse and worse at the exact same time. That's right out of the scriptures,
Yes, it
the
is.
degradation of mankind. And in Isaiah, when the Lord says the inhabitants of the earth are few, that it would be more precious to find another person at a specific time than anything in a person's life. Okay, that means, we have a limited population here on this earth. So things will get bad fairly quickly. And then the war that Jesus spoke about at the end, that if he didn't cut time short, no flesh would have been saved
Yes.
because things were so bad on the earth. That's another bad thing. And when he said flesh beast, that means everything would have gone extinct. Well, we have the power to do that now.
Let's talk about that because for some reason, Vladimir Putin, well, first of all, President Trump said, hey, everybody else is testing nukes. I guess I'm going to start testing nukes. That's kind of a saying we ain't gone away. But Putin starts talking about the Poseidon. He's talking about Satan 2.
Yeah.
He's got 6 different weapons of mass destruction that he's telling us about. And he's coming out with it every few days. Mike, what's going on here? Is this saber rattling or
No, it is not this time. That's why we had a test yesterday. The GT20,
Kind of saying they can't get them
GT-54
chips
test.
anywhere.
The launch of the
Coles or
Minuteman missile.
Kmart.
96
Created ones
That was
or
it.
Red Rock.
Yeah.
Vandenberg Air
This
Force
flavour.
Yeah, they can't buy it.
They haven't again today.
We had to have that
We did, yeah, but their shops don't have it.
That
collect the
me?
data for
Oh,
our readiness.
You know I done this.
Because we
No,
have to be
you
sure.
could have wiped it
I know a
though.
lot of people think, well, that was provided.
Oh,
No,
dog's
that
called.
was us testing
Sorry,
our
What's he
system
done?
he's
so
calling.
that everybody in
The
the
laptop
operation is
wasn't.
comfortable with that. Because Putin has 2 weapons.
Sorry,
He
guys.
just introduced.
Can you actually shut the door
this
so you
year,
can't
not
come in
last
then?
year, this year. And this
Yeah,
year,
sure.
I mean, in the month of October,
Come on, Mika.
right, that nobody knew about. And
Come.
so it's causing
Mika.
some fear.
what were they? Which is it? The ones I mentioned?
It's a no. This is, it's not.
I'm only streaming Mike and I'll join you
Right,
guys.
he's got some,
I heard-
it stunned people, number one, because you're looking at a pure hypersonic vehicle, right? With hypersonic warheads. How do you do that?
I don't
How do
know.
you do that? Right, so you're looking at an object that could be fired at Mach 10, and then it launches multiple warheads at supersonic speed up to 20 targets. And it's a nuclear weapon.
It's devastating to the planet.
So each warhead can do severe damage. And as I said before, somebody's bluff is going to be called.
Yeah. And so every day, and President Trump is getting inundated with all kinds of advice and reports, and he's got to try to figure out which one is which one is, what do I believe? How in the world
Starting to get bad.
How can he
Starting to get bad because you can't trust everybody around him.
No.
When you look at their arguments, that's just like this. People should be outraged at both sides right now, right?
Yes.
And President Trump should go ahead and do what he has to do. He controls the House and the Senate, which is why MAGA is now starting to, look sideways.
Yep.
It's starting to break down in multiple pieces, but we're not talking about just Republicans. The Democrats have a bigger problem, right?
Communism.
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
They want Chuck Schumer out. They want him out,
They want him out.
right? They want him gone. And so, but that has spread to various parts of the government. So what we're looking,
I'm going to do Tommy because I actually like his message. I'm going to do Tommy one day and the Christian stuff the next, or mix it up at the end of Tommy so they can see our side of things maybe. One or two will listen sooner or later.
now in the government is people turning against people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what our enemy needs. We have lots of enemies.
Yep.
We have lots, and they will take full advantage of this blackout of intellect, right?
Yep.
And I do personally believe that we have people inside of our government that would prefer that America be wiped clean and start again. I do.
Mike, there's some glowing objects under the water. Now, you've talked about USOs, or unidentified subterranean objects. But I mean,
They're all over the place.
Whose are those?
They're all over the place. There are two options, because we have the admirals of our Navy, right, are the ones that have talked about them. They have concern about them. Anything traveling at 200 miles an hour underwater, right? That's not our cavitation technology. That's something else.
When you say not ours, you're talking about not human race technology.
No, it's not ours. Nobody has. You have certain vehicles that are much smaller that are autonomous that can do that. Short spans. You cannot have something like that travels at 200 miles an hour underneath the water for the circumference of the Earth, like 2 or 3 times.
No, that's impossible. No,
that's right. It's impossible. And plus, these vehicles, they already know where they go back to. They know exactly where they go back to. They go back to the deepest parts of the ocean. And the Atlantic Ocean there's a swarm out there, right, very close to Florida.
Oh, girl, that's nice. So I can wave, and they're right over there, just not far.
They're all over the place. In fact, 2 of these objects, there was some sort of a sound problem, right? Some sort of an acoustic compression wave, I guess you could call it, that there were lots of whales that popped up every time this happens, right? Now we have acoustic sensors down there, and we have an ability to send out acoustics, but nothing can compare to what that did, right? There was everybody should remember the blurp. Back in the day, I forgot what year it was, but it was tracked all over the planet underneath the water.
Oh, no, like a big blob. I mean,
it was a big sound. It was a sound that nobody can recreate to this day, that traversed the entire ocean. Well, these go off in the ocean right now about 2 or 3 times a month. They disrupt submarines. They disrupt training. They disrupt quite a few things. And every time this happens, these objects that the admirals are pointing out, right, the size of football fields, are traveling in the water.
Mm.
That's their words, right? All somebody has to do is go and look that up and find out what these admirals are saying. They're not playing. They're saying they're not a joke. It's not us. They don't believe it's anybody else either.
So are we talking
You don't
fallen
believe that.
angel technology or angelic?
That's going to be a hard realization. I believe people are going to have to wake up to, right? That
Yeah.
fallen angels are in fact fallen angels. And the 200 that were bound, it's not them. But 1/3 of the angels fell,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So we don't know what that number constitutes. There could be, trillions upon trillions of angels. And to have a portion of those angels fall, and they're all here,
Yeah, this is where he came to. I know they're here.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
And
Right?
so
We're dealing with a lot.
we're not wrestling with flesh and blood, but with these principalities, these powers,
That's right.
these fallen angels, these.
That's right.
Yeah. So the human race, boy, we got to quit fighting with each other and start understanding who our real enemy is. It's not each other. It's the demon spirits. It's darkness of the darkness that is trying to blanket the earth.
Is you know what, Pascal? One of the greatest delusions I've ever seen is when a person believes that there are no fallen angels, right? And that people are really the problem. That's in direct contravention to what the Bible teaches.
It is.
It's in absolute opposition to the principles of Christ. And so long as a person can blame a person, right? That's why people keep running into these problems. I'm going to say this real quick and I'll get off subject. There are people out there, they know exactly what I'm about to say. Well, they understand the situation. They can get rid of a person, but then about 4 months later, another person that did not know the first start saying the same accusing things the first person said. Then if they get rid of that person, somebody else will come up and say the exact same thing. These people don't know each other, but they seem to have the same attacks from different people all throughout their lives. They don't know what's happening. That is spiritual.
Yes.
That's a spiritual attack. So they can get rid of all the people they want. Those spirits are going to continue to work through people to get to them. Christians are the targets. They want a Christian to blame another Christian. That is exactly what they want.
They want division in the church. They want to tear us
That's exactly
apart.
what they want. Because if they even in the Bible, the beast only rises after the falling away, not before,
Yeah.
after the falling away,
Yeah, you're right.
right?
Yes.
That's what he wants. So that's why they continue to blame people. They let the spirits go free. God gave us authority to do something with those spirits and set the person free.
Amen.
But we go after the people and set the spirit free.
We're wrestling with flesh and blood instead of with the principalities, the demonic forces, the demons, and the fallen.
We get it backwards.
We
Don't
get
we?
it backwards. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, God, God's looking down from the heaven. And he's looking at us saying, I told him the plan. I gave him the word. I gave him everything they need. And they're doing the exact opposite anyway. But he still loves us.
He does.
He does.
He does. We're children. We're infants.
Yep.
And the last time I checked, an infant can't do anything for the household.
No, it's totally dependent. That's why they're called dependents. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. This let's look at something else here. It's going on. Digital ID. I did a video earlier today about BlackRock. Here it is. Larry Fink, that is CEO of BlackRock, teamed up with a big-time multi-billionaire out of Switzerland. They took over the World Economic Forum from Klaus Schwab, and now they're saying it's time for the tokenization of all assets. All assets.
Wow.
Property, real estate.
You can get 8% off your premium every year with Honey Insurance. Get a quote in just 3 minutes.
Renewable electricity when the conditions are right. Backed up by gas-powered electricity when
currencies, everything that is an asset, including people, will be assets.
It'll be done now. It's already begun.
So wait,
It's already begun.
so is the process being built right now to do this?
Yeah. Well, digital ID, right? You have
Right.
Arizona, California, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Hawaii, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, Ohio, Utah, and Puerto Rico. They already have digital ID. They already have it.
So,
It's already begun.
so is that whole world going to become part of a digital ID system? Is this the
It's going to be
beast?
mandatory.
Is the beast putting the pieces together here? I mean, are we seeing this?
That's exactly what, and that being one of the last pieces, right?
Yeah.
To actually have that under one umbrella. They
Yeah.
introduced this what was about 10 years ago, I think. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The law books were written and everything was put in place. They had the company set up to operate by that. Artificial intelligence is needed for data management. And now
Hang on, man,
implementation has begun. It's only a matter of months before it's mandatory.
When you say
See, because Pascal, here it is, the government set up for it, right?
Yeah.
So I know for a fact, if a person does not have it, they cannot have a government job in a few months.
yes,
A lot of companies and corporations have implemented that policy. So if they don't have it, they're going to be fired within a few months.
Come on.
When this comes out in a few months, I've seen the policies. I've seen this. I've already seen the rollover in the financial management system of the world with the World Bank. I see what they're doing there. BlackRock, because crypto was an enemy of this plan, right? It made too many people independent. And guess who the number one recipient of crypto is?
who's that?
It's a Seamus found in Venezuela. Anyway, that's another story.
What? Mike? What?
Yeah. So there's a deeper story to all of this.
Wow.
Right? But we're on our way. We're
It's
on our
coming.
way.
So it's coming
It's
fast.
happening quick. Very
Well, Di, you're getting flogged by nature, aren't you?
quick.
Is that why we're seeing the aggressiveness of, let's say, Putin, of President Xi, President Trump, the big players? I mean, is there more involved here? How are you going to
There's a lot. There's a lot involved. Listen, they make these plans around real disasters.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you knew of a real disaster that would set this earth upside down, right? Meaning that it would just topple most things. Wouldn't you set up the pieces for recovery?
Yes, I would.
Oh, well, you're seeing that in real time.
Yeah.
You're seeing that
So
in real
you're
time. You're seeing
saying
it play out.
This is the title of the show tonight. Countdown to Chaos.
Mhm.
Would you say that clock's ticking?
Yeah.
And they know it's coming, right? They know.
Yeah, and we all have our foot in the door, right? Because before that breakdown happens, there's going to be absolute disarray in the world. We, Pascal, about 5 years ago, we had a small conversation, and the number one step was to make the government seem like it does not work.
Yes,
You remember that?
I do remember that.
Then there would, right in the middle of that, you would find a type of lawlessness. They would have to find some sort of excuse to get rid of police officers or change
Yes.
the guard,
Yes.
right? Once they change the guard, then they have absolute control. And they can
Yeah.
withdraw, and that's where Jade Helm really comes into play, right? Because the police cannot conduct Jade Helm. That's for military
That's the military.
individuals, right? So what do you see happening right now?
I heard with the American coppers, there's a lot that are members of the lodge, the Masons. Apparently, a lot of them are like that.
Military are being
And-
sent in because to replace what the police can't do, whether it be
That's why President Trump needs to really take a serious look at his advisors. Now, if that's not the top word, what I just said, if that's not the top headline, sometime next week, something is really wrong.
There's going to be a shakeup. You're saying there's going to be some. Trump's got to do this.
He better, or because he's the one they're feeding bad data to.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the one that they sat there and said before the election, they fed him a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
The problem was he saw the outcome itself, and when he saw the outcome itself, it took him back a bit.
Yeah.
He said, "Wait a minute, this is not what I was told." Right? And so now you can tell that in him. So there's going to be a bit of a shakeup because somebody's not loyal. Well, more than a few people
There's
are not
probably a
loyal.
lot more. Yeah, and that happens in every administration because there's this spirit to overtake America.
Mhm.
Like the guy who just got elected the mayor of New York City, the largest city in this country, is a radical Islamist communist. You call him whatever you want to. I mean, by his own words.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you know what's so sad about that?
what's that?
That's exactly what the people want.
I know.
That's exactly what the people want.
I know.
So that's a real eye opener. They didn't cook the books. This is what the people want.
I know.
And so that tells you something about where this country is going. This is the youth, by the way. It's what the youth want.
Yeah.
And they want a socialistic type world because they don't understand the price that was paid for the world we live in right now.
No.
They don't comprehend how much death and carnage took place to get us here.
I interviewed a guy today with my son and I. We interviewed a guy whose parents were Holocaust survivors.
Mhm.
And what they had to go through to survive. His grandparents were murdered the first day in Auschwitz, and they got off the train and they were killed that day. His father and his mother were not married at the time. They're both Holocaust survivors who met later after the war. And he wrote a book about that. And it was a great interview, and the guy was telling exactly what happened. And he said to me at one point, he said, "Today's world don't know what price the people paid
No.
to get here.
No.
They don't know."
No.
And that,
There's when you're setting up something this huge, you're going to have fights, you're going to have difficulties, you're going to have opposition. You have to fight through all that. That took some years to get through, and a lot of death. And if they just shove it to the side, they're going to have to go through it again. Of course, this time we know it's going to be a lot different because another type leader is coming forward.
yes.
And they will regret the day they were born if they stay on that same path.
But Mondami, he's amazingly charismatic.
Yes.
But if you look and read what he said in his belief system, it's dark. I mean, he's not the guy that's up on the stage. That's not the guy.
He's charismatic. He is.
Yeah.
And but the kids, they don't care. I guess they see the government is so dysfunctional.
Yeah.
They don't care so long as it's not them, right?
Yeah.
Like the Nancy Pelosi's, right? All these older people, they don't want to hear them. I guarantee there are a lot of people in their audience. They don't want to hear anybody's political speech. It does something to they've heard it all before.
It makes you sick.
And
Yeah.
and every time we get a new president, everything resets. Period.
Yeah.
It's the same process. Everybody gets hope. There are promises. Everybody gets hope. And when a person gets in the White House, it's almost like everybody forgets another side is in the White House that can put a halt to every good thing. And so one side gets their ideas, and then it's put to a halt, and the other side washes all that out. They go a different direction, it's put to a halt, and somebody else makes a promise, and all that's put to a halt. We end up right back in the same spot year after year.
Yeah, it's just a revolving.
And we're going nowhere. The only thing that's come out of time is we have devices where we don't have to work as hard.
Right.
That's it. Our health is still going down the tubes. Things are still going down. The morale is out the window. Right?
Wow.
The family unit has been broken up successfully. Most kids are raised by a single mother. It's just absolutely going down the hill.
Yeah, you're right.
And well, that's what.
Diane, when I was a kid, we didn't have ADHD kids. We had little kids that were bastards, but they weren't like that. I reckon it's the vaxxers have done that. Same as dementia. Nowhere in history will you find a world leader dying of dementia or Alzheimer. So I reckon they got something to do with the vaxxers.
Why this moment right now is not so much for the government to succeed. This is for the church to go forward.
That's right. The government is not who's going to save us anyway. The church is the most powerful force on the planet. And we need to wake up and understand the power and the authority we have in the Word of God, in the Spirit of God, in the blood of Christ, and the God-given power. We're starting to see it. I've been saying, Mike, I saw Mandami rise. I saw Charlie Kirk rise. I see two guys coming. Each one was rallying the youth. One was gunned down, cut down, trying to eliminate that voice now, and hope that anointing, that revival anointing dies. I'm praying to God that instead it backfires and that there's multiple millions will stand up. But this was you could see these two men rising simultaneously. And the one was gunned down.
But it happens. How many people have we had in the past that truly inspired people? And then they were gone.
Gunned down.
But see, in every single case, the church stayed silent.
Yes.
We can't stay silent this time. We should know by now that they cannot fight spirits. They can't do it.
Right.
Because they partake of too many of those spirits, right? They're not set aside for them. They have a different job to do. But those who have authority over the spirits, well, it's time for them to stand up.
Amen. That's us. That's us. And us
We got to
pastors,
go forward. We have to.
Us pastors and preachers and teachers and leaders every day. That doesn't just cross my mind. That's where I wake up in the morning and I go to bed at night with God saying, "Where are you?"
Yeah, Diane, because nowhere in history has someone had Alzheimer's or dementia. No historic leaders had that. Sure, there'd be one. They know not Hitler. They know Caesar was an epileptic. So if they know things like that, they would have diagnosed dementia or Alzheimer's. I think it's only a 20th century problem, and we know why it's caused. I think so anyway.
Stay on,
Pastor. I tell you what, I'm hound every day.
Yeah, that's the word.
To pick a side, right? I am literally hound every day.
You mean in your job?
In
your job?
Yes, and every day I have to say the same thing. I'm not going to take a side. I stand on the side of Christ with an established kingdom that is not polluted.
That's good.
I'm not here to stand with politics. I'm here to intercede for those who are in politics. Yeah. Right? This is not about politics succeeding. This is about Christ and being formed, right? Being known, salvation happening. Because if the kingdom stops, there's no salvation. Who's going to get salvation? And the very people we're looking to lead the nation have no spiritual authority.
That's right.
So they're always going to be prone to devils they can't see, but we can see them. All we have to do is speak up. We're going to have to take that front seat, that uncomfortable front seat.
And it is. It is uncomfortable. Come here. We got to do it, and God's counting on us. As we're counting on God, it's just the way it is. All right, let's also take a look at this thing that's going on in the Middle East. Hamas still is in power. I mean, Hamas is not in power, but they still got their weapons, they still got their arms, and they still got about 8 of our hostages' bodies. Where's this going?
Yeah,
is this
and the Hezbollah situation?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Talk about that Hezbollah.
Boy. They can't get rid of Hamas. They can't do that, right?
No.
Because it's very difficult to identify who Hamas is, and that's going to be the crux of what will just implode.
Diane, I haven't had a vax since 1980. I was in the army in 1980, and you have to go through and get vaxes. But I haven't had one in the last 20 years since then, actually.
In the Middle East. But the effort is good. We already know the outcome. I cannot help but to see, and it's good while we're doing it, right? Even though, I'll say this, even though we know prophecy, even though we know where it's going,
Yeah.
right? It's a good thing that people do. They have a heart for other human beings and for peace in the first place. They
Right.
still have to go for it. No matter what a person attempts to avoid, the end will always come. It's always coming. But for now, the efforts mean everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because it inspires, it does save lives. People were dying every single minute in the Middle East. And the death toll has decreased significantly.
Yes.
So that's a plus. Even though, it's a partial peace type thing,
Yeah.
it is very significant because you don't hear, I tell you what, if a person could hear the cries, the screams of a child,
Yeah.
that does something to you when you hear that on a continuous basis. And that seems to be all you hear on this earth. So any step forward to peace is a good thing. But as far as getting rid of Hamas, I'll say it again. I said it once, I'll say it again. It's good to have peace, but when a person is not serving the Lord, right? If they do not uphold Christ Jesus, we know exactly what will get a hold of them. We know what's going to get hold of them.
Yeah.
They have no spiritual shield, right? And so Satan will often wait until somebody maximizes some plan or it feels good, and then boom, that's exactly what the word says. Sudden destruction will come upon them when they say peace and safety. And the only time they're going to say peace and safety is when they have achieved something. Then it will all, come down. But Satan, he just waits, just like a serpent. A serpent sees, the average person in your audience, a serpent knows exactly where they are, a real one, but they don't know where it is.
That's true.
Because it's always watching. And you hardly ever see a serpent.
Hi, Shawnee.
They are everywhere, right? Because they just sit there and watch.
And they hide.
And they
They hide.
pounce.
Yeah.
They want maximum damage when they strike. And so they wait until things are accomplished. And then that's what's happening in the Middle East. Hezbollah and Hamas have a plan with elements of Turkey.
Yes.
Putin is also backing these terrorist forces in the Middle East, right? That should be.
Hey, Phil, good to see you, mate.
Right through that. And it's only a matter of time before he shows or he flexes some of that strength. And if something is fired, Pastor Paul, it has to hit the USA and the Middle East at the exact same time.
They got to hit big
Right.
and little Satan at the same time in their mind.
That's right, at the exact same time. And we have countries right now aimed at us because everybody's on a type of alert right now. They are. We have terrorism is about to go to a brand new level
Yeah.
in many countries.
Yeah.
Things that we have not seen before.
Yep. Not here, but
At UpDoc, partner doctors adhere to strict clinical standards. That means professional, convenient, and accessible care whenever you need. Request a consultation now at updoc.com.au.
This is more. It's having the time of your life with the love of your life. Feel free to experience more with Norwegian Cruise Line.
As the sun slowly crept in.
I don't believe understand the severity of this situation. America does not have friends. We don't have friends. We really don't. We have made lots of enemies. And the only reason we have not been messed with to this point is because of our military. And now President Trump and the way he expresses himself, right? People are nervous. They don't know what he's going to do. But if they ever find out that he won't enforce something, it's over. It's going to be over in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They are waiting for an opportunity to take us down.
They want to see a little weakness somewhere. If he,
they will take full advantage of it.
Yeah, as long as he says and does some things like bomb Iran, take out the Iranian general,
He has to do it every day.
And he's got to do
Every day.
something with
Those
Venezuela.
folks in Venezuela,
Yep.
he has to do it every day because the day he does not show that strength, they're going to take full advantage of any weakness. And they're trying to take, I believe that they have entrenched themselves in America already.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. They're waiting for that maximum blow. I can't wipe away the image that I saw of Trump with dust all over his face.
Is that a
With,
vision?
like he, as though he, yeah, it was a vision, as though he stepped out of 9/11. You know, he had dust all over him.
Oh
It was
my
from-
Lord.
That's the way he looked. He had two people beside him. He just looked dusty. Everything was dusty. That was at the same time I saw people crawling right underneath the ground everywhere. Everywhere. People were crawling underneath the streets, underneath the grass, everywhere, bombs strapped to them, and everything else. They're waiting. They're doing something. They're doing something. And it's only a matter of time before they strike in a coordinated effort.
Do you feel that there's going to be another 9/11 type attack, shocking America, maybe even
I don't think 9/11 will come close to what they're doing right now. You know, they're even in reality, I can see signs of it. I can see it. There are certain elements that are too quiet. Other elements, like Hamas, they're too appeasing.
Yeah.
That's not Hamas. That's not Hezbollah. That's not those factions in Yemen. They don't do that.
No,
They don't do that.
They don't.
So we know they're planning something, right? And they're very savvy. The door is open to these people to come in and out of the USA.
Yeah, that's been our biggest problem, and now we've let them all in. Yeah, we shut the southern border, but they're still coming in.
That's it, Diane. I'm switching a pole singing for that.
They're coming by plane.
By the
diplomats.
planes, that's right.
You have this guy in Syria. Who trusts that guy?
I don't. I think he's the Assyrian of the Bible. I think he's the guy in the Bible that comes in through flattery. Yet he's an enemy. How come everybody? Why does everybody? I mean, why did everybody embrace this guy? This guy was Al Qaeda. This guy killed Marines in 2003 in Iraq. He's an enemy.
He's just like the Sami guy, right? He's telling people exactly what they want to hear.
Yep.
And he's doing other things behind the scenes.
So it's got to be frustrating for you because with your ability to see some of the intel, or a lot of the intel for that matter, and then to know, and then have the spiritual insight. So did you have a vision when you saw President Trump with dust all over his face?
That was a vision. That was
Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yeah, that was long before he was president too.
Okay.
It was before he was elected, right?
Okay.
Before he got shot, actually. He was in Washington or somewhere like that. And you could just see this guy was this reddish, pinkish color. And dust was everywhere. And I saw Trump walk out of that dust. He was looking around. And it was his face full of that 9/11 dust all over his face. Well, at the same time, I could see people crawling under the ground, which really made my heart jump, right? Like, is nobody seeing these guys? They were everywhere. When I say crawling under the ground, think of the ground as being translucent, and underneath the ground, you can see a bunch of people crawling, getting into position. And they were going real slow, crawling real slow, getting into position everywhere. They were everywhere.
So they were stealth. They were moving.
Yeah, they were everywhere, moving real slow. Some had bombs strapped to them. Some had guns. Some had ammo. Some had these canisters. They were crawling right underneath the ground everywhere. Everywhere.
So Mike.
And I knew they were going to strike. They were going to strike all over the place.
Okay, that's it. Instead, 9/11 was an attack basically on.
I've dreamt a few times of mass lawlessness, probably 3 or 4 times.
New York, Washington, D.C., maybe, and there was going to be some more locations. Okay, but what you're saying is this attack you're seeing in the spirit and also within intel what's going on
everywhere.
It's going to be an all-out hell on earth, a type of massive chaos that there's no way to. Where do you go first? Where do the first responders go first? Where do the police go? Where does the National Guard go? Where do we go first? It's almost like everybody's gonna take up arms and they don't.
It was military in position. I didn't see any police guys. I saw a lot of
Military,
And
okay.
what do we have right now? Military all
And they're getting in position too.
over. Because we have people in the USA, citizens, not people who came here illegally, that are against.
I'm just saying, Trump's done some good things. He put a ban on abortion. He's done some good things, guys. I know how it's going to end, but I like how it's going so far.
The administration, let's go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
He signed the no-hide laws. That says it all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We have a lot of the youth that are against the political parties.
Yes, we do.
We have Marjorie Taylor Greene that is now speaking out on CNN against, certain things, the Republican
Yes,
Party.
she is.
But she has a legitimate gripe
Yeah.
because they're not doing anything. And there are people out there hungry. Kids are hungry.
Yep.
People are maxing out their credit cards, right?
Yep.
People are getting their health insurance has gone up anyway.
Yep.
I don't know what the Democrats are doing, but because everybody's going to start dropping health insurance.
Have to.
Watch and see. They're going to drop it. And then that's going to implode the Democrats' plan. But you have a lot of these folks who are not starving. They're not hungry. You know what they're saying? Oh, no, hold out till the very end. Listen, they're saying hold out to embarrass the other side.
That's not good.
They don't care about the people. They care about making.
What do you think about him going to Nigeria to stop the Christians getting slaughtered?
Care about winning. How stupid is that?
It's going to blow up in their face.
They're both sides are going to lose because the people are losing. And I'll say one thing though: the only thing that can stop what will surely come is if those people stop acting in pride and selfishness.
That's the only thing.
They're going to stop doing that because they have stepped right into pride.
Yes, I agree.
They're in pride. They're what they're doing. They're not doing for anybody but themselves. They're serving themselves.
Of course. Okay, so now Nancy Pelosi is finally going to go away. Chucky Schumer is going to get thrown out by his own party. The Republicans are going to have some casualties politically because of the way they went.
Yeah.
Trump's got to fire some of his top advisors who've lied to him.
Yeah.
And at some point here, this thing's going to come unraveled.
It will.
So where do we go from here? Is there a way to patch it up, or are we just
the church? The church
it still comes down to us.
If the church would come forward and say, "Listen, Democrats and Republicans.
Yep.
You got to remember how you got here, right? Stop fighting each other. Somebody needs to pull out some scriptures on these guys. If they believe in the Lord, then pull out some scriptures.
Amen.
On these guys. They're listening.
Should I
They
get that
listen to
paper to
you.
your mother?
They've heard me. They need to listen to the scriptures.
Amen.
And
We're not back
because
yet.
what they're doing right now will bring death upon
I
their
took
own.
the can, so.
If God has a severe problem with any nation that neglects.
Yeah, not getting as much now.
Now, what type of attitude have we cultivated? We're not talking about giving a person a handout. We're talking about caring about human beings. In the apple of God's eye, wouldn't that be God's creation?
Yeah.
It is. Yes, it is.
And they just.
Yeah, Nancy's not running she's not running in 2027. She'll be lucky to be alive in 2027.
What? Don't care about
They're-
that. So
they're
that's going to come
battle.
with massive repercussions.
Yeah, they're in a battle with power, and the people.
I watched Gutfield on Fox News, and he really has good jokes against Pelosi.
Are just the you know, what do they call that? Not casualties, but the I forgot what the term is.
They're at a stalemate.
Yeah.
Is where they're at. They're at a stalemate.
Somebody's
They're not
gotta-
making progress.
Somebody's got to step up and say, you know what, this is ridiculous. Let's both. We got to compromise both sides. We got to stop. Because I just seen where they announced. Chucky Schumer announced that the shutdown's going to go on through Thanksgiving.
Diane, if you wanted to start a civil war, You couldn't have done it any better than Trump's done, could you? He's done a lot for the left to go to civil war over. I think so anyway.
Okay, he called that 2 weeks ago. And now our airplane, now we're having to cut down on the number of planes for people to travel. What's next? What other services are going
You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, Dutch?
Don't pay
I'm the pastor, Grace and Mercy, if it's withdrawn, right?
Oh.
Now, everybody has gotten a warning. If it's withdrawn, they have no shield.
Yes.
There will be no, they have no shield.
No protection.
And people will just have to deal with the carnage. But they will no longer be in charge.
Collateral damage is what they're saying.
These are the end days, and the Lord will do a swift work, but he will not suffer his word to return void.
Amen.
He's not going to do it. And grace and mercy will be withdrawn from them.
Yeah.
So, my advice to them is to remember Jesus did say that people will get before him and he'll tell them, depart from me, you worker of iniquity.
Amen.
And he'll say, you didn't feed me when I was hungry. You didn't clothe me when I was naked. You didn't give me something to drink when I was thirsty. And these guys are just, they're holding out at the expense of other people, and they're being paid.
I know.
Because it was last week I said they should suspend their checks and their credit cards and their bank accounts and everything else.
We haven't seen one congressman or senator say, don't pay me till we fix it. Haven't seen one of them, not one.
No, but all they're doing is they're trying to be so loyal, right? That they're
Hey, boss, good to see you, mate.
There's a problem with that.
That's a big problem.
That's a huge problem.
And we're not paying our military. We're not paying the people who are that are watching out for our safety with the air traffic controls. We're not paying government officials and people who actually do the work and carry the load. We're just ignoring everybody. I can't understand how you do that. How do you do that?
Well, Israel did it, right? And the Assyrian popped up.
Yeah, in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Every time a nation gets to this point and their government's all out of whack, God will call their enemies up to power against them to put them in their place. So nobody should wonder if they continue this. We all know what's going to take place. We all know.
The enemy is waiting for the weakness, and this is
all
the
know.
weakness. This is weakness. Oh, Mike. So these next, what do you think? These next couple of weeks, is there going to be somebody who's a cooler head?
They better act immediately.
Yeah.
In fact, we better hear some comments change tomorrow, if not tonight.
I agree.
Because if they don't, they're in trouble.
It's going to get
by a higher hand, and they can't do anything about that.
No.
I got real life insurance to protect us financially. You can choose up to $2 million cover. Click to request a quote now.
The new Ego PGX charging system. It's simple economics. Available now.
Mike, I think tonight you really dropped the truth bombs everywhere. I think that people have got to come to the realization that we're watching, and this is prophecy. I mean, and this is like we've seen this before. I mean, globally and in the Bible, the examples of the same scenario, we've seen it time and time and time again. That's why empires rise and empires fall, is because they ignore the constituents, they ignore the people. They walk over top of them, and in the end, that's why Rome fell. I mean,
and we're a Christian nation.
I know.
And the Lord said, "What you have done unto others, you have done unto me, and what you have not done for others, you have not done for me." Right. What are we doing?
But we're in trouble if something don't change fast. We're in trouble, and the church better start praying like we've never prayed and speaking up. And like you said, they heard our voice, they've heard my voice, they've heard your voice. They need to hear the word, and the word of God is absolutely going to say, man can't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. The judgment is mine, thus saith the Lord, and I will repay. And he did say judgment begins in the house of the Lord. In other words, that's where it's where it starts. It's where it's established. We gotta get okay. I don't want to start preaching. All right, Mike. Thank you so much for tonight. Seriously, for being here again with truth. And that's the only thing that's going to set us free. The truth is what's going to make us free. Thank you.
Okay, guys, my cousin and boyfriend's up here. So I'll just finish with JW. And then I've got to go, guys.
Warning systems are going dark as quake and tsunami warning systems are going dark. A 5.7 quake has just struck off the Gulf of California. You can see right here, just today, USGS said there's a green alert for shaking related fatalities and economic losses, meaning there is a low likelihood of casualties and damage. However, look right here. This was the projected zone to be hit. We said within 24 to 48 hours. We said that two days ago, and it did get hit because we looked at these models and projections based on magnetic. Also, it wasn't just a 5.6 that hit. It was a 4.2 that was close to Washington, Oregon coast, and off of Vancouver area. And then there is some really strange activity that we need to dive into that is happening towards the California, Colorado, Arizona border area with the military. They just happen to be in the zone as all these things are happening. So while we're here right now, we got to first look at what is happening below as animals or orcas are starting to act really weird as well, doing some unusual activity. Now, if we look at the Gulf of California, right underneath there, yes, there is magma that is there. And that's happened because it went from a subduction setting to a rifting setting over the years. So over the years, this has definitely been something that if you look right here on the map, you'll see all the continental riftings. And that's because of the volcanic magma movements. You can see all that on the California area, all these areas, some up in Arizona as well. So this is what's happening underneath the Gulf of California as we speak right now. But let's look deeper into the Gulf of California because we're not being told everything about this. And I looked into it and found that there is much deeper activity happening here. It's not just one 5.7. Look at this right here. 5.6 it says today. But then
I'm nearly finished.
What happened? 10 hours ago, 4.6. And then you had 11 hours. 5.6, you had a 4.4, 22 hours. So this has been super active. And even a day ago, 4.8. This is showing some real sudden movement underneath. And the kilometer depth of this, let's go back to the depth in kilometers of what we just saw here, because the kilometers show that this is exactly the magma type movement that is settling in underneath. And this is going to translate to the Ring of Fire areas as well. Yeah, it's just over a little bit in that zone, but this is going to be very important. The Gulf of California contains magma related to its rifting and formation into the Young Ocean Basin with a systematic shift in magma composition from the northern to the southern Gulf. That's where we're at right now, everybody. And again, like we said, as they turn off the seismic detectors, that's going to be something that people need to tune into. Right after this video is over in the live chat, you'll see it there as well. Now, moving in, what's happening if it's heating below there and all the animals, and they're starting to attack and do some strange things that they ain't used to do. So if we have rifting, we have magma moving upwards under there. And we could be getting a lot of heat coming in this area specifically from now. I'm going to get to the military activity and everything else, but stay with me. The Gulf of California killer whales are now learning to hunt great white sharks and tear out their rivers. It's November 7th, 2025. So experts are looking at this and saying, like, wait a minute, this is a little bit unusual strategy here. And they're saying they believe that it's because the waters are heating up in the Gulf of California and the predators are shaking things up. So this activity is really strange here, but this could also speak volumes. It could be something chemical, it could be something acoustic, and it also could be temperature. All three things are on the table here. And remember, everything we're speaking here is for awareness because seismic monitors are not on, so we have to get you all this activity to you as soon as possible. Now, moving deeper along the line here, there was other areas that also were experiencing some events. Close to the Caribbean, was going to get to that information. It mainly was quiet, but we're going to get back to that. And there's more updates coming in already. I'm getting, but I have to put more information together. But right now, let's get back into the big detail. What is going on not too far from the area of Baja California, off of the Gulf of California? Military planes, emergency responders are all gathering near Colorado River, Arizona border is. This exercise is planned with Marine Corps. Not just Marine Corps.
Wow.
You're going to have law enforcement personnel there. They're going to be blocking off roads. It's happening today, Friday.
Good night, Phil. God bless, mate.
So this event, Friday, happened the exact same day that we had this 5.7 magnitude strike. Interesting. So we're going to read you a little bit more of what's happening here. You can see the exact location. Anyone with questions regarding training exercise are asked to contact the sheriff. So what is the military doing there?
What's in Colorado that they're all hanging there? I wonder what's in Colorado.
Why do they need to be there so close? Did they happen to activate anything? Numerous law enforcement agencies, including Life Police Department, U.S. Border Patrol, Colorado River Station Special Enforcement Team, and California Highway Patrol will assist the U.S. Marine Corps with training exercise. The event will require several road closures in the area, and authorities advise nearby residents to cooperate with the road closures. It says details on the location of the street closures were not immediately provided. So they didn't immediately, I was about to say immediately. They ain't immediately provided now. You immediately ain't gonna get the information. Let me stop messing up. Life California authorities plan military training exercise Friday in incorporated area Life South I-10, California. So this was to take place on Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then it says Friday, 2 p.m., my bad, and then 6 p.m. on Saturday. So they're going to be doing this twice. Double trouble now. Some people have been saying they think the Leviathan is awakened underneath America. Here's what's interesting. All right, so before we move forward, this area that they're in, there is some geoglyphs out there that actually, right where this training is happening, close to where this zone where the earth is.
Wow.
It's a snake on the ground. It's a geoglyph of the snake movie. So we got them training next to where the geoglyph of the snake is, a large one. And also these weird looking, I don't know what type of creatures these is, but some type of beings is which is weird to me. So they're all over there doing this. Meanwhile, this same area that got struck, there's something important about this. They did a reconnaissance mission because this is cartel territory. So this same area getting hit with earthquakes, back in February, they flew a RC-135 to do joint surveillance over there. And just to line it up with you right now, so then there's something else happening beneath the U.S. coastline that I haven't showed you yet. So just to line this up with you so you can see exactly what I'm saying here, I gotta pull this up right now and give me just a second. Yep, here it is right here. So is it coincidence? Is it coincidence that the strong earthquake rattled a cartel stronghold in the Gulf of California on November 7, 2025? I don't know. But all I know is the military is training close by. We got these earthquakes going off. They did a mission over, they flew over it. So something deeper is going on. The magma movement, yes, for a fact is happening, but something else is going on as well. And we're going to be diving even deeper into all this. And I'm not sure if this right here has something to do with it because they're talking about beneath the shorelines of U.S. and mainly California, the highest numbers in California right now. They're finding these craft underneath the areas, and we can look right here. And we can see from all the way December 2017, the app is called Enigma. And going all the way up to November, we see a huge spike. Like all of a sudden, after 2023 hit, they just was like, all right, let's escalate the moves now on this. So you got a mixture of activity happening in the earth, and then look right here. Just a few days ago, that Mexico volcano on the west coast, people were starting to see UFOs spotted by that. So we got a 3-tiered agenda. As we see activity increase in the world, we're all feeling something is off, something is not right, something is just inside of me telling me that this is a moment where they're shutting things off and we're being led into some type of dark situation. The increase of magma activity, volcanic activity, the Project Bluebeam agenda, but also whenever you start to have those volcanoes getting ready to erupt, there's been historically records showing these crafts show up, and not all of them are military. Not all of them are the U.S. government. So we've hit a really crazy time right now, and if the screen black out, I'm going to be right back because they usually end up hitting me with a screen off operation moment, but I'm going to come right back if that happens. Big picture lined up right now. Animal activity is confirmed to show magma movement increasing in the Baja area close to the Gulf, where this 5.8 or 5.7, my bad, struck. And the depth of it told us that it was something coming from below. So we need to be checking out in the next couple of days all the other chambers running through Oregon, running through California, running through all these areas. We're going to be looking at that, and then we're going to be looking all the way up to Vancouver Island, where this rip is opened up, and also the Border Ridge.
Okay, guys, I'm out. See you tomorrow, guys. God bless.
Right next to California, there's a rip off the Cascadia subduction zone. So we're going to be looking at that too as well. Do not leave here and miss what I put out yesterday, because that's where they want you to be.